Most traders are stuck. Whenever they have a trading plan, they don't know how to actually execute it, because having a trading plan but being able to execute it are two separate things. If one of them is going to be lacking, then you're not going to be profitable. If you have a profitable trading plan but you're not able to execute when the right time has come, well then guess what? It won't work. So in this live trading session, we are going to be live trading. You'll see me take a trade, my entry, my stop loss, my take profit, and like many times, we are going to be making some profit today. Now, first things first, what do we want to see? I'm a little bit late onto the session, but that is no problem. Well, simply because I'm still going to be executing my trading plan as usual. And for that, I am going to be pulling up the notes in here, and we're going to be marking out, okay? So first things first, the pre-market open is going to be looking, if I go on to the daily time frame, we want to check this out. Well, right now we are basically rejecting off from that entire thing, and I can see that we are trading into that entire FVG. So this is already going to be telling me, okay, that there is potential to trade higher, okay? So I'm going to be marking that out. Potential to trade higher. Rejecting off the daily FVG. That's all we want to know for now. That's basically going to be our projection. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame real quick. And here we can basically see the same scenario because we have an FVG to the opposite direction and also a price action gap. Okay, so I'm going to be marking this out as so 4-hour FVG, 4-hour, and then we're also going to be having a price gap. Okay, plus gap. Okay, there's going to be our entire projection. Now, most traders, they don't even have a projection for the entire day. They're just going to be trading blindly in that sense. They don't even have a plan what they actually want to be executing when they're basically taking a trade. Okay, because not having a plan and just executing out of feel, out of having whatever checklist it is going to be, that is not how a profitable trader operates. So from this point on, we pretty much have all of the information that we like to see. Now going to the 50-minute time frame, and I'm going to be following my trading plan. Okay, we're going to be adding a note, which is going to be like this, trading plan. And we want to basically mark out all of the different things. So to do, first of all, higher time frame buys. Okay, we have that 50-minute range as usual. Then we want to have a liquidity rate on 1-minute time frame, and then movement candle. Anything after that is going to be our entry. So we have the higher time frame. We're going to be checking that. Okay, from this point on, what else can we see? Probably we're going to be trading onto the upside, but let's firstly mark out our range low. This is going to be our range low, and then this one is going to be our range high. Okay, range high. Now we want to ask ourselves, okay, where are we going to be trading towards? Okay, this is going to be our 50-minute range. We have marked that out. From this point on, basically, we have already decided that we want to trade onto the high. So probably this one is going to be taken out, and this one is not going to be taken out already. What are we doing? We're putting ourselves in a 50-50 scenario, okay? Now it's way more clear where we want to trade into, basically. Now, I can also see that potentially we are going to be creating a BPR in here, but that is not confirmed, so I'm going to be deleting for now. Let's go into the 1-minute time frame. Here, we basically just want to see a liquidity rate. Now, a liquidity rate has basically already happened, if you want to like that, because we're going to be seeing it as that. Let's go to New York local time. It's going to be right in here. We already had like countless of different liquidity rates that have happened previously. So I am okay taking a trade basically if we take out something internally. So even just that low is going to be fine for me, and then I can basically take a trade onto the upside. What's also pretty valid to happen is that we have an FVG in here. That FVG has not been traded into. We're going to be extending all of that. We're going to be having a BPR. See, most people are not unprofitable because they don't know how to mark out a BPR or a range high or a range low. Most people are not unprofitable because of that. Most people are unprofitable because they're not having a trading plan or somebody who holds them accountable for basically taking these kinds of trades. So that's basically the plan. We would like to trade onto the upside. From this point on, as usual, we are just going to be waiting this out. So the next thing on our checklist is going to be, as you can see right there, we need a liquidity rate to occur. Before that hasn't happened, we're not going to be participating. So you could potentially even just set up an alert right at that low. We need to take it out, and then we just want to trade onto the upside. Simple as that, guys. Like, that's really all it is. That's all it takes, man. There we go. Now we have basically taken out that 1-minute low. And now I want to see a strong candle on the upside. Now it has to be at the very minimum strong as this one. Okay, by strong I mean basically a body closure that is pretty big. Wicks don't count, guys. Wicks are just telling you a lie in that sense, while the bodies are going to be telling you the real story. So I would like to see a candle that is at least the size of this entire candle, and then I'm willing to basically take a trade onto the upside. Okay, now preferably I would even like to have a candle like this one. Now we plan on basically having some internally. I don't necessarily want to go for all the way for the range high. You know, we can do that of course, but what I usually like to look out for is something very internally. So this will be a potential trade. Okay, let's just say we had the liquidity rate, then we are creating a low, and then we just want to trade all the way higher into that entire thing. I mean, keep in mind, we have to be careful with how many ticks we're going to be taking, or points in that sense, because that's only a $100 account. Because if we're going to go in here and basically expand all of this, then you can see we have already been trading with $100. Now this is currently what we have. I'll show you the entire results in the end of the video, so you can closely follow up along. So this is currently what we are rolling with. So basically we are creating a lower lows, and a lot of people would have already taken a long either in this entire price action just because we have traded higher. But what they don't see is that all of these, so relative low, we need to take that out first. Yes, you know, we have already basically taken out our low in here and in here, but I've also told you that we need a movement candle, okay? A strong candle that is trading on to the upside basically. We have not seen that, so that's also no trade for us. Now, even more importantly, we still need to trade into that entire thing. Okay, we have already traded into the relative lows. Preferably what I like to see is trading into the BPR and then our movement candle. This will be the ideal scenario, but not required. Just something that I would like to see basically. Okay, let's go on. Yeah, that's only going to be the 1 minute time frame. We are still sitting in this entire daily FVG. Let me mark it out. FVG. Potentially this could have even been a small scalp onto the downside, simply because you already know it's going to trade lower into these relative lows because of that entire FVG, and then lower. But you know, you could have basically a lot of different opportunities in the market, and that also just comes with experience. But I like to focus on one specific plan and rather just always replicate that, because I've also shown you in previous videos on the main channel that if you're going to be having a lot of options, then probably your system is too complicated. And if your system is too complicated, then this is going to result in a lot of different mistakes being made. So just keep that in mind whenever you're trading basically. Okay, so we are still currently hovering around. We are almost at the BPR. Let me mark it out. This is going to be on the 1 minute time frame, and it's looking quite good, man. I could even take an aggressive entry. I'm probably going to be taking an aggressive entry. This could be like also an option, like just 1 micro to minimize the risk. Because see, the point is not in basically being right every single time. The point is in minimizing the risk. So if the reward is very high for getting that aggressive entry, then it's worth it to do basically. Okay, so I am going to be taking a long right in here. Okay, so we are in longs right now. Going to be marking this out like so. And I would like to aim basically for all of these highs. And actually put it even lower. It's going to be looking something like that. So there we go. Let's see how this goes. We should be rejecting off that BPR in just a couple of minutes or so, even a couple of seconds. This BPR should be holding. I mean, what we can also see is that all of these are going to be what? Relative highs. We would also like to trade into that basically. So that's just one more reason why we should continue our movement onto the upside. And it looks quite scary, longing when the price is going lower. But like, that's the exact same thing that the market would like you to think, you know, take a short right now, take a short. We're trading lower, take a short. That's the exact same thing that the market wants you to believe. So you need to stay strong. You need to understand that this is just temporarily. We have taken a loss there, but that's going to be fine. Let's see if we can re-enter. Currently, we are trading into that entire FVG. This is going to be second, basically our second support level that we could be bouncing off from. Let's see if that is going to be happening. So that's just one loss, I guess. It is what it is. Okay, right now we are starting to see some volume coming in again. Let's see. Let me get a little bit lower, and then I'm going to be taking a trade. Just a little bit lower. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to see a quick wick. We're in longs right now. It's going to be the trade. We want to trade this onto the upside. And I'm also going to be adding into our position, okay? I'm going to get into with 1 more micro. I mean, we've pretty much been punished on that entire trade for taking an early entry, but I saw the potential basically. Okay, I don't regret taking it, but we basically got punished for it. Currently still been trading on to the upside. Let's see how this goes. Like, I'm just going to be holding the position all the way to the relative equal highs, because there is not going to be any level that is going to be rejecting the price off from. So we're just going to be staying into that trade. So we had our entire time frame bias, we had our 50-minute range, liquidity rate we also had, and also our movement candle. You see, in the very first one, we didn't have the movement candle. That's why we got punished. In this one, we did have the movement candle. Remember, I told you it has to be a candle at the very minimum like this one. Okay, this time we had it, and yeah, that's why we continue the movement onto the upside. And hopefully that's going to stay that way. So this currently is going to be a 145 almost. There's also going to be the range high. I mean, you can barely see it, but this would also be a potential target, but I'm not going to be holding it that much longer. Something that would be valid to reject off from would be this entire FVG. Hopefully it doesn't even get to that point and we're just going to be trading onto the upside. Not looking good. We're starting to basically trade lower. We are in a loss again, but I'm going to be staying into that trade because there has not been my condition met to basically put the stop loss at a break even. Because most people, they would have already gotten out at a break even. I get that. But no, I'm not going to be doing that. I want to still trade onto the upside. For many, this will be sort of the break even. And they would just basically take it from here. Break even trade and that's it. That's valid to do, but you know, I see more potential into this trade. And if we are truly going to trade higher and take out that high, then I'm willing to hold it even longer all the way to the range high. Because that would mean that truly now is the right time. We have basically liquidated all of the people that right now try to trade lower. And yeah, that is just a death sentence for everybody that is going to trade lower. So yeah, we're going to be staying to that trade, no worries. So as usual, guys, we stay professional. We don't going to get scared out of the price action. See, I've told you, many would have gotten out at this price action point, but not me. Now's the right time. This is going to be basically a break-even trade, okay? So the worst case that is going to be happening, we're going to be trading a lower and into a break-even. Now's the right time. Before that, no. There we go, guys. We're trading towards the relative equal highs, and I do see the potential to still hold the trade. The reason for that is quite simple, because I've told it to you, when we are able to basically have all of that price action not being taken out, that is just going to be the confirmation that the trade is basically screaming onto the upside, because we have already liquidated all of the guys who tried to short in here and tried to basically react off their emotions. Yeah, let's just go to journal one more trade. Basically, I'm going to be journaling the loss first. This was just a 1 micro, if I remember correct. What is it, 2? No, this was only 1. This is going to be the entry, going to be the stop loss. It's going to be the take profit. There we go. We're going to be taking a screenshot. Let me remove that one, just so we're not going to be getting confused. There we go. Now, contract size was just 1. Confidence level, I would put it at a 3. I wasn't even like too certain, okay, because this was still a risky entry. And I'm also going to be marking that out here. There you go. Oversized, early entry. Yeah, early entry, no movement candle. Okay, we're going to be adding that. This trade was going 10.44. This was today. Okay, 10.44. And it has been going for how much? Yeah, like 2 minutes or something. 10.46. There we go. We're going to be putting into the notes that did not wait for a movement candle and gone in with an aggressive entry. Not good, but overall worth it to take because of a lot of potential. There we go. We basically journaled the entire stuff. This was pretty good. This was a long. We have closed it. The strategy was going to be the 15-minute model. Time frame was mostly the 1 minute. And yeah, there we go. I mean, that's pretty much it. We have all the different things. I wouldn't call it FOMO, but I would rather call it, we've taken a long, but this was a loss. This was a loss. There we go. This was not 400 bucks. This was 0.1. There we go. Okay. Journal the trade. This was number 1. Now we are going to be journaling number 2, basically. We're going to be adding the trade. It's going to be the stop loss, the entry, the take profit. This was 2 this time, 0.2 basically. This was a TP. Here I was like way more. This was like by far very certain. This time waited out for a movement candle and it worked out. I would also like to add, and I'm going to be annotating it like this with like my red marker, just so I'm also going to be referring back to it later in the future so I know what's up. Here, there we go. I added it in here. And actually we have gotten out somewhere in here, so let me adjust that for the take profit. There we go. No, even like somewhere in here, I would say, because I know that it was like 400. There we go. This looks about right, and I wouldn't even say there was anything wrong with that trade overall. We have taken it on the 1 minute as usual. This is going to be Star Theory 50-minute range, and log the trade. There we go, guys. Now, this is currently our trade library. This is what we have going on. I mean, we have started it, you know, with just a very few micros basically, and we have worked our way up. Now we're at the time where we can actually even been going for a 2 micro or even just 1, depending on the quality of the setup. So if the quality of the setup is not as good, but I see a lot of potential, then I'm going to be going for a 1 micro. If I see, you know, if it's like a regular trade where I'm just very confident, then I'm going to be taking 2 micros most of the times. And yeah, this is currently what we're rolling with. So let's quickly adjust also the post market, which is going to be, let me add it all in here. There we go. So basically 1 loss, 1 loss, 1 win. And I'm going to mark it out. So this one was a 2 micro win. There we go. So you see, you need to be trading systematic. If you're not trading systematic, because you have seen it yourself, I have marked out my entire plan before that. I've had the pre-market open. See, that entire thing, this is not just random. We had an entire plan, what we want to trade basically. And we have just followed that plan by keeping ourselves accountable by having all of these different things. Now, this is going to be my personal journal. It is going to be by far the best journal that you have ever seen. I'm working closely with my coders. I'm investing a lot of money to make this work. So you're going to be having the best journal to basically log in all of your trades and not only see basically, okay, you know, this is looking beautiful, okay, but also see basically the information that you want to see in order to improve your strategy, refine your entries, and also keep yourself accountable. You see, with that being said, guys, always remember, trade based off data and not guesses.